I didn't really realize until taking on this role how important the Global Volcanism Program is to the international fabric of responding to volcanic hazards, to saving lives, and that ability to spark public imagination about science, get people excited about science, get kids, get young women excited about science is just all I could ever want.
Please welcome Liz Cottrell from the Smithsonian's National Museum of Natural History.
We exist on this planet by permission of volcanoes. When I say the word volcano, it conjures in your mind an image. Maybe it's art. Maybe your image of a volcano is a roiling lake of liquid hot magma. Maybe you're thinking of the last time you had insomnia and you were watching the Weather Channel at 3 in the morning because volcanoes make great TV. And we always use that kind of Armageddon soundtrack. Maybe it's very personal. Maybe you were in Europe in 2010 when Eyjafjallajökull erupted in Iceland and grounded your flight home. Yes, yours. That was the largest grounding of air traffic since World War II, and it cost the airline industry $2 billion. Volcanoes awe and inspire us. They can kill us. But no matter what, when I say the word volcano, each one of you taps into that sense of childhood wonderment in your own personal volcano. At least I'm counting on that for this talk to succeed. So let's take a step back and everybody take a deep breath with me, just everybody together. Brought the atmosphere into your lungs, took a chemical exchange, and then you exhaled. Volcanoes are the planet exhaling. And it's no wonder that the very compounds that create our habitable atmosphere are the compounds coming out of volcanoes: water, carbon dioxide. And that's what I mean when I say we live on this earth by permission of volcanoes. Sometimes you breathe volcanic air directly. You're breathing volcano breath. In 2008, when Casatochi volcano erupted in the Aleutians, way screen left, the gases tumbled across North America and crashed down on the United States, right here in Washington, D.C. On those days, you were breathing volcano breath directly. You have an intimate connection to the interior of our planet. So pay attention, because I'm about to drop some knowledge that you can use at your next cocktail party, but not the cocktail party we're about to have, because everybody heard the same thing. Volcanoes emit smoke. No, volcanoes do not emit smoke. Volcanoes eject ash, volcanic ash, that's crushed up, pulverized rock. And if you were in the space shuttle looking down at Kluchevskoye volcano in 1994, you might have thought, yeah, that really looks like smoke. But you know what? You're going to know that it's rock when it lands in your front yard. It's not all doom and gloom, fire and brimstone. Volcanoes are essential to the planet. They bring nutrients up from the interior of the planet and scatter it across the land. Volcanic soils are some of the most fertile on our planet. And that's why 500 million people live in the shadow of volcanoes. I made this map using data from Smithsonian's Global Volcanism Program. Every triangle on this map is an active volcano, and I've sized and color-coded them to correspond to the population living right at the base of the volcano, in millions. You'll notice some hotspots: Indonesia, Central America, Africa. The populations that are largest, living in harm's way of volcanoes, are those same populations that might be least equipped to respond in a time of volcanic crisis. And I know you're all looking at this map saying, well, there are no volcanoes in DC. True, true. So which country does have the most volcanoes in the world? We do. The United States of America. We have more volcanoes than any other country. They're stretched out in a long chain that reaches from Alaska to Russia, the Aleutian Islands. And they're on this map as little itty-bitty black and blue triangles because nobody's living there to see them. But my guess is that many of you in this room have been in direct harm's way from these volcanoes. Every time you fly from the United States to Asia, you enter their airspace. And this volcano, Redoubt Volcano, where that red triangle was, this is a picture of it erupting in 2009. And now you know that that's not smoke, it's rock. In 1989, Redoubt Volcano erupted in much the same way it's erupting here. A 747 carrying passengers from Japan to Amsterdam came into Redoubt's airspace, and those jet turbines sucked in that rock, and all 4 engines flamed out. Imagine being in the cabin of that 747, the roar of the engines, and then perfect silence. Power off. That flight landed safely in Anchorage. So how does Smithsonian keep you safe? How does the FAA route your flights around volcanoes? That's where the Global Volcanism Program comes in. Every day, we are documenting the eruptive histories of volcanoes. We are charged by the international community to keep track of the names, the latitudes, longitudes, elevations, eruptive histories, the eruptive products of these volcanoes, their respirations. That's what these green blobs are in this web mobile application that you can go home tonight yourself and play with. We make this data available to the public, to scientists, to civil authorities, to relief organizations. And in this way, keep you a little bit safer on this planet. Now, I know you're all thinking, how can I avoid dying in a volcanic eruption? I, on the other hand, recently risked my life to get a little bit closer to the volcanoes in the Aleutians. Why? The Earth has continents. Okay, you knew that one. But did you know that Earth is the only planet with continents that we know of? Earth is unique in having continents, and scientists don't know how continents form. Our ignorance stems in part from the fact that the continents are very ancient, especially compared to the ocean basins, and so we've never seen them forming in real time. But in the Western Aleutians, we have a continental nursery, continents being born. And I recently went to the Aleutian volcanoes. First, I flew to Anchorage and took a 2-day survival class entitled Underwater Helicopter Egress. Yeah, so after that fun time, we flew west to the farthest west airstrip in the United States, also the farthest east airstrip in the United States, to Adak, where we got on a little itty-bitty boat with a helicopter hanging off the back and steamed a few more days west to the farthest west volcanoes. There, we flew in our helicopter, we collected rocks, put them in bags, put them back onto the helicopter, and brought them back to the Smithsonian. And here I am on Boulder Volcano, wearing my survival suit, with what my son would call a huenormous smile, because I have collected volcanic ash for the first time from this volcano, ash that I think is going to unlock the secret to the formation of continents. That ash has come back to the National Museum of Natural History, where it has been accessioned into our collections for generations of scientists to study into the future from all over the world, but first and foremost, studied by me. Yes. We bag it up, we bring it back to the Smithsonian, we analyze it in our laboratories with the most advanced instrumentation. We bring it all over the world to interrogate these samples with microanalytical techniques, to quantify the carbon dioxide, the water, the oxygen, all the things that are the secret to the formation of continents. And now I'm going to share something with you. It's an image that we took just yesterday in our lab at the Smithsonian, and I put it in my talk, much to the chagrin of the AV team. This is the mineral olivine from the volcano Garaloy in the Aleutians, and my graduate student polished into it, and she sees staring back at her all these little pockets of magma that have frozen to a glass with little gas bubbles, like a million little eyeballs saying, "Analyze me, analyze me." And I just can't wait to get into these samples and understand where we are coming from as a planet. So while the Smithsonian spends a lot of time keeping you safe on this earth, we're also asking the question, why are we on this earth in the first place?